So you can see all your faces and your masks on this cold and windy day in Half Moon Bay. So I'm glad that you made it. We're going to start with a prelude, which is a recent work by Harry Heavlin, the son of Bill and Maureen. He's 30 years old. And this song, Bill says, reframes the mortality that is part of all of our lives. The performance is by Rod Floyd, and it's called Tumbleweed.
The tumbleweed spreads its seed, rolling around the great prairie, chasing wind wherever it leads. No one knows where it's supposed to be. Rooted once, now it's free, drifting on dust and memory, drifting on dust and memory. It don't beg, it don't plead, roaming over canyons and rivers and creeks. Under moonlight, silence is deep, cactuses bloom and coyotes sleep. Really tall mountains sing to the trees, carrying secrets the hills do keep, carrying secrets the hills do keep. Hot and dry in the desert you'll see a shaggy old traveler rolling in the breeze, kicking up dust on the sun-baked ground. Rattlesnakes slither and make no sound. Gets real cold when the sun goes low. Never in a hurry, nowhere to go. Never in a hurry, nowhere to go. Well now, partner, you see that dry old bush rolling over yonder? But there's a tumbleweed. Ain't born a wanderer, no sir. It starts life staying put like any honest plant. But once it reaches maturity, a ring of tiny fibers them city folk call abscission cells waste away where the stem meets the root. Then the wind will snap it clean and send that bush roaming free, scattering its seeds like whispers on the breeze. So if it looks wild and free, remember, it's on a mission. And even in death, we all leave traces of ourselves behind. The tumbleweed spreads its seed, roll around a great prairie, chasing wind wherever it leads. No one knows where it's supposed to be. Rooted once, now it's free, drifting on dust and memory, drifting on dust and memory. If you want to take a lesson from me, you can't stay put and still be free. Gotta keep rolling where the wind don't blow, following roads nobody will know. Let the dust and the wind come and mark your path. Howl and holler and hoot and laugh. Howl and holler and hoot and laugh.
Unitarian Universalism stands among the liberal faith traditions of this nation. As a denomination, not just this congregation, but all the congregations in the UU advocates for LGBTQ rights, reproductive rights, civil rights, affordable housing, and climate justice as we work together to promote justice and repair the world. Along these lines, the December theme for this congregation is Leaning In. And today we welcome back Bill Heavlin to the pulpit with a sermon titled Dear December, a late love letter to the near future. As many of you have heard, Bill and Maureen are in Minneapolis, so Bill's sermon will be presented today as a recording. In classic UU style, Bill braids together threads from classical Greek philosophy, Hellenic cultural wisdom, and contemporary psychology. All is to call us to muster our better selves in order to lean into this season of increasing darkness. And we have some opening words from Bill.
These words are from the Sikh tradition, authored by Sri Guru Granth Sahib. The title is the first line. If you want to play the game of love with me, step forth with your head on the palm. When you place your feet on this path, give me your head and care not what anyone says.
And now we're going to do our opening hymn, which is number 1014 in your Teal hymnals, Answering the Call of Love. And Dietrich will play an introduction. Let's see, we've sung this before, so I think most of you know it. The composer Jason Shelton modified these lyrics from the original version, which was Standing on the Side of Love. And that's in your hymnals. But you can read the revised words in the order of service, or you can just remember to say answering the call of love instead of standing on the side of love. So, Dietrich. Thank you for singing, and now Judy will lead us in our Chalice Lighting.
The Spark of Love by Anastasia Berash. The spark of love resides in us all. We are free to act from it or not. If we choose love, how will love shape what we do? If we choose love, how will it improve our actions? If we choose love, how will I treat those around me? If I choose love, will I find it when life gets hard? If I choose love, will you also choose love? Love begets love, and it is love that lights our chalice.
And now, it's my great pleasure to introduce our speaker, who is our own Bill Heavlin. Bill retired in 2022 after a long career in Silicon Valley. He has one son, Harry, who's married and living in Minneapolis. With Noreen, his wife of 32 years, Bill is a principal lay leader here with UUCC. His theology, which continues to evolve, has recurring themes of ethics, communication, and poetic imperative. For hobbies, Bill creates bits of poetry and watercolor. So now, we are going to hear Bill's sermon, Dear December, a late love letter to the near future.
Dear, dear December, I'm glad you're here, that we're here together. Grateful for the attention that you offered me this morning. Today, I offer back love. The ancient Greeks lifted up 4 kinds of love: family love, storge, and 3 others: eros, philia, and agape. Today, I speak of the latter 3: eros, philia, and agape. So I invite you to lean in, head on palm, and to listen to my thoughts and stories of love. For a while now, I've experienced December by its darkening, particularly on Thursdays, when in the dark I bicycle to cook for the community breakfast at Coastside Lutheran, biking because it's become too dark for me to drive, limited as I am by my eyes. For every Thursday in December on my bicycle, it grows ever darker. I've acquired words for gradations of dawn and twilight. As Inuits speak of snow, for me it's words nuancing the shades and colors of darkness. Words like blue hour and nautical dawn. And this volunteer gig is personally inconvenient. Yet I persist, returning to it every Thursday in December. This morning, I'm especially aware of the extra help we've received. Chairs set up by other hands. By the kindness of others, this open dance floor has transformed into this orchestra of chairs gathering us together, which I tuck into my chest with a breath of gratitude and quiet sense of wonder. Across many religious traditions, body movements inseparable from worship. Indeed, such is the grand idea behind that occasional call for us to stand as we are able and to sing as we dare sing. The Jewish religious scholar Abraham Joshua Heschel said it this way: the body without the spirit is a corpse. The spirit without the body is a ghost. So there's something holy in simply walking to church or climbing the stairs up into church. And something holy about sitting there and feeling your palms, feeling your back muscles hold you upright. This body awareness, it can feel truly holy. Indeed, our local rabbi, Rabbi Moshe, sometimes takes some of his people hiking. Big hikes, like up Montera Mountain, Torah scroll. I'd like to believe he gets help, shares the energy, the love implicit in climbing a mountain with a 20-pound load hoisted over his shoulder. A community walking together, a sense of togetherness embodied by hiking. Those are not corpses hiking. Those are not just ghosts coasting up that hill. And my wife, Noreen, goes to the No Kings protests. She waves, she smiles, her Fitbit waving, all translating into a step count of over 15,000. Another way to embody one's values, one's love. Many religious traditions recognize the spirituality of embodiment, one's body as a temple. In Taoism, it's called Qi. In yoga, the life force is called prana, cultivated with breath control and yoga postures. Sufis famously manifest body by spinning around, the whirling dervishes. Today, I'll keep in step with Heschel and use the ancient Greek term eros to describe this creative, embodied, 15,000 step count love. And as to that hand under your head, maybe you can press a first finger for eros. Dear December, perhaps you felt this in parallel to feeling one's body. In church, you're with people. Maybe you walk to church, walk by yourself to church, but church means being with people. Maybe this morning you jumped out of bed and skipped to the kitchen, but when you go to community dances, you're dancing with people. Indeed, our most popular UUCC meetings seem to be when we come together and speak to one another. I don't think it's the food, and I say this as one of the bakers. It's this coming together, the discussion, the seeing of one another, this being seen, being heard by one another. The Greek term for this is philia, the love shared among friends. Philia, as in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Lifelong friendships formed in childhood or high school, in college as roommates, in the trenches of that first job. Yet, C.S. Lewis claims modern society has evolved to discount such friendships, especially among males. Philia acts as the hidden social glue inside many volunteer organizations. In my volunteer work at the community breakfast, the crew I work with, the Thursday group, has bonded into a team. And whatever good we do, our personal motivations stem primarily from working in concert as a team. Many religious organizations succeed by establishing such a community, a beloved community, a group of people who know each other and come together with approximately shared values, approximately similar experiences. Earlier, I mentioned group hikes. Sometimes people will pair up or three up and walk pretty much in step. This sets up some biological alignments. Breathing together, syncing heartbeats. The term for this is synchrony, this sharing of body rhythms. Choral singing, by the way, is a great way to achieve synchrony. That experience of singing in a choir and feeling in sync as one voice, that's synchrony. To experience this is often bonding. And as to the hand under your head, Perhaps you can feel the force of a second finger. Thou for Philia. Dear December. Speaking of beloved community, behind this phrase, this concept, lives a December story with shadows, and a love story, maybe two love stories, each speaking to us through its own aching. Grass Valley, California, 1855. Josiah Royce, he's born, he's bright, a wunderkind from the West. At age 23, PhD from Johns Hopkins. At age 27, he's faculty at Harvard. His specialty is not precise, but classics, philosophy, religion, and a close friend of psychologist William James, whose writings implicitly disagree with Royce. Royce formulates a novel argument for God's existence as the absolute knower of truth and error, which launches a successful academic career. And then, dear December, at about age 50, for Royce, the shadows lengthen into winter. Christopher, his firstborn, graduated from Harvard at age 18. At age 26, he's committed to a mental hospital. In a single year, his best friend, William James, dies. Then, shortly thereafter, this son, Christopher, also dies. And as for Josiah Royce, with this second loss, the loss of his son, it's as if an abyss opens up. In a place previously occupied by God as absolute knower, it's as if Royce sees now only emptiness. In this personal darkness of December, Royce reworks his worldview. Over the next 2 years, Royce rewrites his philosophical system, replacing the absolute knower and his new concept, a community of common understanding, beloved community, a rich, humane, humanistic concept. Beloved community. Says Royce, my life means nothing, either theoretically or practically, unless I am a member of a community. Dear December, Royce died just 4 years later. At that point, the phrase beloved community itself seemed destined to rest unread on some Harvard bookshelf, under accumulating layers of dust in a void unvalued by anyone. And that's the end of the story. And if you know something of me, you might hear how this story tugs at my heart. Except for Martin Luther King Jr. Speaking in 1956, the end is reconciliation. The end is redemption. The end is the creation of a beloved community. It is this type of spirit and this type of love that can transform opposers into friends. It is this kind of understanding and goodwill that will transform the deep gloom of the old age into the exuberant gladness of the new age. It is this love which will bring about miracles. So, Martin Luther King Jr. brought Royce's concept of beloved community into our contemporary era, transforming it into a big tent, anti-racist ideal. And maybe we wouldn't even care what some young black preacher might have once said in the 50s, but that king was martyred 12 years later. Another story to tug at our hearts. The end and the beginning of a story. Dear December, these stories reveal that the darkness of this season makes for a rich and fertile darkness, a place where love stories sometimes begin and where lost stories sometimes wake up to speak to us anew. Beloved community is one such December story. Earlier, we spoke of the outdoors, hiking and dancing. From the Ramaitush Alone comes this song, actually just this 7-word fragment. Dancing on the brink of the world. Of the rest of the lyrics, we know nothing. From the Alone, we inherit only these 7 haunting words. And a void. In other readings, other times, I've associated the brinkness, the edginess of this phrase by geography, where land meets sea or where land and sea meet sky. But today, my dear December, as I so contemplate these successively darkening days, a new edge, a new brink opens before me. For I sense we are poised on some brink or brinks I cannot quite describe, on the brink of our democracy eroding into marble monuments, of our government reinstitutionalizing racism, of our planet baking into infertility, of our communities becoming defined by its gates and its guards, of the medical system dividing itself into one for the rich and another for nobody. There's more. On the brink, in these dark days, my dear December, I have fears. And, my dear December, from the Alone, the original people of this land, comes this head-turning cause for hope. For not only did they speak of the brink of the world, they also chose to sing of the brink of the world. And they also chose to dance into the brink of the world. They stood together, they sang, and they danced together. You can still hear, echoing in these words, how they stepped into synchrony, to sing together, to dance together, to act together. Dear December, here we uncover a deep form of love, which, like some intrinsic law of the universe, is ever rediscovered. A love that, like the much beloved child, is ever given new names, new endearments. In Buddhism, it's called karuna, compassion. In Judaism, in Musar, it's called chesed, acts of loving kindness. In Greek philosophy, in the New Testament, it's called agape. Agape, chesed, karuna, all involve selfless, unconditional love. Acts of love for which you don't expect any return. My cooking at the community breakfast expresses agape. Waking up at 5 a.m. and working through cleanup 4.5 hours later. Volunteer gigs, in general, express this form of love. Many people before me contribute by tutoring. Many people in my orbit and people, the phone banks for political causes and more. And I'd be remiss not to mention the many volunteer opportunities around church. Cooking and baking, writing and singing, photography, bringing flowers, media, social media. So, my dear December, in these darkening days, in what seems like the brink of the world, when you volunteer, when you help another, you too dance on the brink of this world. A dark world, maybe, perhaps, but not the end of the world. For this is what new beginnings look like, feel like, new love, new sources of love, like a dance for which we don't yet know any steps. One of our feet has to move before the other, right? One of us has to take a step before someone else, right? Then someone will offer that first step in reply, right? Let's call this the agape dawn, the one that follows the blue hour. Dear December, we've lived before through other Decembers. December always begins with a series of ever darkening days and always ends with each successive day showing more light than the one before. Let us allow our love, our agape, to unfold in this same way, with the courage to face this winter with a love that cares for one another and carries one another into a shared future. A future that, though it does not belong wholly to us, cries out for our care and for our deepest caring. Press finger 3 for agape, 3 fingers for love, for unconditional, selfless love. Philia, eros, agape, 3 fingers for love. For when you place your feet on this path, you offer up both your heart and your head, and you care no longer what anyone says, and step thereby toward loving one another, loving ourselves, and loving too this bitter, broken, beautiful, and most perplexing world. Amen and namaste.
I'm so happy to be here in our coastside community, asking you to join me in supporting our material needs. This is my spiritual home. I discovered Unitarian Universalism in the mid-1960s, shortly after the Unionists and the Universalists merged. I was thrilled to find a place where I was among people living our daily lives as best we can, believing in inherent worth rather than original sin. I'm glad we're here to share our principles with others who see us active in the community. And I'm proud that we foster students from the Star King School for the UU ministry. It costs money to rent the space, to engage speakers, to carry insurance, and to expand our outreach. Please give generously today.
As we extinguish this flame, may we carry its warmth into the world, not as a memory, but as a promise. A promise that you deserve a place where your voice matters, where your laughter is treasured, and your silence is honored. You deserve the circle that sees your scars and your strength, your doubts and your radiance, and holds them all with care. Let us be that circle for one another, a community of fierce welcome, wild grace, and radical hope. Go knowing you belong here, you always have.
And the closing hymn is number 131 from the gray hymnal, sometimes called the silver hymnal. And it is called Love Will Guide Us. Deidre will play an introduction, and then we'll sing together. So please rise as you're able and join me in singing number 131, Love Will Guide Us. Thank you for singing, and thank you, Deidre, for playing so beautifully. And now we are coming to the place where I get to thank people. So thank you first to everyone here for attending the service this morning, and for turning up to hear Bill's love letter to the month of December. Thank you, Deidre and Vera, for your beautiful music. Thanks also to my fellow worship associates, Judy, Joanne, Nancy, and to Bill and Noreen for putting this service together, and to our video guru, Bruce.